and welcome to Hixxy Studio. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use this die set from Creative Expressions to make this card. It's the Necessities Moonlit Owl. It's from designed by Sue Wilson, and in the set you get the sentiment, you get a full moon, a crescent moon, the tree trunk, branches, and the owl. Now in this one, I've not used the crescent moon or the trunk. Have a look on the channel because I do have a video where I have used those with a different colour scheme. So what we're going to do first is we're going to do a little bit of cutting, and because I need to make sure that I have placed everything in the right place to know where to put my moon. Okay, so you will need 3 branches. Now I've already got 2 cut, and I've already got 1 of the sentiment cut because I'm going to need to cut it out of a different colour in a moment. So I'm going to lights are here, aren't they? So I'm going to take the branch and the owl, and we're going to die cut those. A little bit of tape. Just to hold those down, and put those in the machine. We're going to try with no additional plates to begin with, just the basic, and then we'll see if it's managed to do what it needs to do. If not, I'll try a card shim before I use the magnetic. Just helps to save the plates a little bit. Okie dokie. Now it hasn't quite cut. You can see it's got the emboss. Has it cut? No. I'm going to try and see if it'll come out. I think it might. No, it won't. I've just almost ripped the what's it? The feet. So we'll shove that back through with the extra plate. It's almost cut. It goes to show that sometimes, you know, you don't need, well, sometimes a lot of the time you don't need the magnetic shim in with Gemini. Worth having a fiddle. You know, that looks like it's cut. Excellent. So let's pop these out. So I've got my other. Don't think I need that, but I'm just going to chop the bits I've used off and keep it there just in case. You never know. So you've got some nice embossed detail there on the owl, and again, it didn't need running through with the embossing. It didn't need the magnetic shim to get that. Okay, so oh, I know what I haven't cut, which I do need to do. Bear with me a moment. There we go. There's a piece of card. I forgot to cut out a moon. Now you can see I've already got one here. This is the one I'm going to use for masking when I do my inking in a moment. So I am just going to run that through and get that cut as well. Cutting plate that and that. We'll just run that through. Whoops, it would stay in my plates are getting a little bit warped. So you do find that you get as much as you turn them, and they are consumables, and they do eventually get a little bit warped. So I know there are some what I would call dead spots on my plate. I can't always remember where they are though. You can see sort of goes a bit like that. Anyway, so I've cut out 2 of the full moons. One I'm going to use for the actual card. So I'm going to put that to the side for the moment. And the other one is the one I'm going to use for masking when I do my inking. But before we can do inking, so I've already measured. I've got my my base card and my mat ready, and I've already measured this piece of stamping card. If I get it the right way up, nice arrow. I've already measured that to fit, so I know I don't have to do anything else to that. So I'll put that to the side. What I need to do now is I need to roughly position. In fact, I'm looking 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I need 4? I think I do. I think I need to cut myself one more. Good job I didn't throw my bit of brown card away. I need to cut myself another one of the branches. So let's do that. Put that through. Oh, there we go. So, yeah, so I need 4, not 3, as I initially said. So I need 4. Okay. So, oh, that's a little bit. Okay, so I now have my 4. So what I want to do is I'm going to cut these down so that I can make this kind of like extended branch out of this smaller one. I'm just going to pop that and that out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 3 of them here, so that I've got one that's going to be the full branch, like so, and then I've got 2 more that are going to go there, and then I'm going to have another one coming down kind of here, and then the bits I cut off will come in here. I'm going to cut it off there. We're going to, now you can see I can extend, oops, I can extend my branch, and oops, almost cut the wrong way there, and one there. So I've now got my my 3 bits for my branch, and that needs to come down a little bit lower. Maybe not as low as that. This is why I say to sort of do the playing around before I've then got my bits, and I might, when we come to it, I might cut into those as well, but that's not too much of an issue at the moment. So this one is kind of going here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to check that I've got room, which I don't at the moment, for my sentiment, like so. And then we need room for the moon and the owl. Now what I do need to do before I start fiddling with the moon is I'm going to get a piece of my low-tack tape and just roll it round, and then put that onto the back of the moon so that it will stick. So it needs to come a little bit further that way. Make sure I've got room for my owl, so the branches might need to go up a little bit. But yeah, I think I'm happy with the position of the moon. So I'm going to move everything else off for now to the side, because we don't need it, and I must make sure that I do this up the right way. Okay, so I am using 5 colours of Distress Oxide. I've got Fossilized Amber, Dried Marigold, Carved Pumpkin, Gathered Twigs, and Ground Espresso, because I'm going for this orangey brown. However, if you've only got, maybe a yellow, an orange and a brown, then you can equally do that. You don't necessarily need all the different colours. So I'm going to use my brushes to apply my ink. I'm just going to push them a little bit further off my board so that I can move my ink mat round as I need to. Okay, so I'm going to start with the fossilized amber, and I'm going to go in like rounds in circles around. So starting sort of on the moon. Now this is why I've got 2 moons cut, because I don't want my whole moon looking like this. So we're going to go round like so. Okay, now I'm going to take my next colour, which is the dried marigold, and I'm going to do the same, but starting a bit further out this time. So I'm going kind of around the fossilized amber like so, and then put my brush back and just kind of blend them together. More of the dried marigold come in. Okay, next my carved pumpkin, and again I'm just going to make sure I've not got too much of this. I'm going to go round again. Now I'm ending up off the page, which is fine. Oops. Now what I haven't got, and I do need to get now, is a little piece of paper, and I'm just going to fold this up a little bit, because what I don't want to do, if I can help it, is get fingerprints on it, and I also don't want to get too much ink on my finger, which I will then inevitably transfer. So I've done my carved pumpkin, and I'm going back into my dried marigold to blend those together. Okie dokie. I might just bring that out. Oops. Out a little bit more around here. I always tend to do this, sort of go backwards and forwards between the colours just to blend them together. And generally, if you're kind of moving up tonally, you don't end up with too much contamination on your brushes. Okay, so my next colour is gathered twigs. Okay, so we're going to go. I need to move my brush up a little bit better. There we go. And go around. Yes, now this one's going to be harder to blend in because, you know, I've really jumped in terms of the colour here. It's not like to a darker orange. I've gone to a brown. So this will take a little bit of work to now blend together. What I'm doing is I'm bringing the carved pumpkin further out into, trying to get a fairly soft edge between the two. Like so. So I'm getting this nice diffused out into the brown, and then in a moment we're going to put the ground espresso right around the edge, which will then give us that nice dark that I want towards it. I'm going to just put a little bit more of the ground espresso around in there. Okie dokie, right, so ground espresso, which is a nice, really lovely dark brown. You're just going to bring in the edge. Oh, itchy, excuse me. Ooh. Just bringing that in around the edge and the side. So now I'll go back to my gathered twigs and then blend those two together. Doesn't matter. You see, it looks quite I don't know what the word is, dappled if you like, and that's fine because remember this, we're dealing with light here, so it's not necessarily going to be totally dark. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put that to the side for the moment, and then I am going to put the lids back on these for the moment. The only one I need it still is the fossilized amber. Whoop. Let's look at that one. I need the fossilized amber because I am going to make a piece of card to cut. Checking I've got enough there to cut the sentiment to go behind the brown. So I'm just literally putting the fossilized amber over. Now, as I've been doing this, I've realised one thing that I've done differently that I am going to correct in a moment. Obviously, the inking is always going to be different because you apply with different pressure in different places. So at the moment, you can see that this one is looking a lot brighter, if you like, than this one, which is no problem. But what I did realise as I was doing it is that I cut this, didn't I, second one out of white card, and actually on the thing I cut it out of cream to make it a little bit more muted. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a quick rummage in my box here and grab a piece of cream card like so. That's quite thin. We've got a thicker one, that's a thicker one. And I'm going to cut that moon again. Excuse me. Hay fever time. And I'm going to cut that at the same time I'm going to cut this sentiment. Okay, so let's grab. That's why I didn't have a piece in the box. I couldn't find the white because it wasn't white that I was supposed to be using. Right, pair of scissors. Let's just piece enough of that, and then we're going to sentiment. Okay, so that on there, and there. Oh, and now I need another little bit, don't I, for that? There we go. Like so. Grab my plate. Ooh. Now the ink will still be a little bit damp, so just be careful because tape doesn't necessarily like to stick when the ink is a little damp. Now I do have a bit of ink on my hands. Really want to contaminate other things. I'm just gonna. Ooh. Moon. Now I can see I've caught a dead spot in there, so check if this is done. That's okay. So I'm just going to run that quickly back through. So, off. Okie dokie. Out. There's the moon. Right. Good. Right, so sprayed. Okay, so we need to get the sentiment out. Now, with the sentiment, just be careful because it all hinges on that middle of the H. You can see it's very wobbly there, so just be careful as you're removing it. Famous last words. I'll probably end up ripping it out. Don't want. Just be careful as you are releasing it because it's a very intricate sentiment. Like I say, kind of hinges around that H. There we go, that's come out lovely. Let's put those two bits out. Right, that can go away, and the moon can go away. I'll put that aside for another project. Works well as a mask. So let's bring this back in, and I'm going to take that off there. Now I'm just going to grab my ink mat again because I do want to put a bit of ink, sorry, not on that, just around the edge of my moon. So I'm not putting any more ink onto my brush. In fact, I'm just going to take them off, and I'm just going to very gently flick around the sides with the yellow, and then I'm also going to use the one I had dried marigold on just to soften it a little bit more. Okay, now you can see the difference if I'd used that one where I'd gone round and around. It's much darker, but also you can see the difference in the colour of card. So this one's going to look a lot more muted with the rest of the colours. Okay, so I'm going to stick this on first, and glue, and then we're going to arrange all of the these bits and pieces around it. So the first thing I need to make sure is that the owl will fit. So we're going to put the owl on because pretty much the main part, if you like, of this set is all about the owl. I say that, but you could use any of the other bits without the owl. So this, for my card, I need the owl to be sort of seen. So now around that, I can make sure I've got room for my sentiment. And what we'll do is we'll see, look, that's the bit that I had down on the mat, and that's what would have been all over my hands had I not had it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to stick these together first before we stick them on. So I need my thin glue, fine glue applicator, and my tweezers. Right, I just realised that that's still got a bit in, which doesn't. There we go. Right, okie dokie. Let's. This is going to play ball. Needs to just trickle down to the end. There we go. Okay, so quite often on things like this, I don't try and sort of go all round it. It's just a case of sort of dabbing it on, and you'll get enough on there to stick. Okay, and I'm not I'm not going to do what they call drop shadowing. Drop shadowing is if I as you can see, the one behind is to the left and above the one at the front, which is what I'm going to do here. If you're going to drop shadow, then it would be below and to the right. Okay, so just making sure we got all that lined up. That's excellent. And then we'll put some glue on that, and then we'll also stick that on. And then what we can do is then arrange all our other bits and pieces around. And we know that we've got, we can see our owl, we can see our moon, we can see our sentiment. It's all there. Okay. Okay, so this is going here. I'm just going to use that to press that down. Okay, right, so like I say, now we can play around with the rest of the bits because we know what room we've got. Now you can see I'm going over the edge here, and that's fine because all I'll do once I've stuck it all down is I'll just chop it off. A lot easier than trying to fit it all on, and it's very much like when you stamp and you stamp sort of off the page. It makes it look more natural rather than trying to sort of put everything inside the frame. Okay, so I've just realised I put glue on a bit, so I know that I'm not going to need, but that's okay. So I'm going to come, am I going to come this way? Yeah, I'm going to come this way, and I'll use some of the bits we've cut off to sort of get onto the moon. And let's see here. Just gonna lay these out before I stick anything because that's the one. Because I want one with a leaf. I want the leaf leaves over the moon to sort of push the moon into the background rather than it being sort of looking like it's nearer the front. This kind of helps to create a little bit of perspective. Okay, so this one's going in like so. Let's get that to press that down. And then the second one. Like so. And like I say, I want the leaves over that. Get my bit of paper. Really good. Push down. And then the last one come out across here. And we get our glue on this. And then the final bit is putting on the those little bits that we cut down the side. The seal. Right, okay, so I've got my two bits and I'm trying to decide if I'm going to put that on there, just so that off the page, and that one like that. I think that will work. Okay, let's get glue on these. Again, with this, I just want at least one of the leaves to be over the moon. Over the moon. Very happy leaves. Okay, and then this one's going to fill that gap up here. Like so. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is get my big scissors and I'm going to cut off these bits. A lot of layers I'm going through there. Cut those bits off like that. Oh, now that looks like where I cut that, the whole thing came off. So I'm going to just put some more glue back on that. That, fill that gap there. There we go. Okay, and then all that remains then is for us to just mat and layer this onto our base card, which I have here. So I've got the brown. This isn't craft card, it's more of a buff colour card. So I was looking for my big blue. So it hasn't got that kind of textural look that craft card has, but it has a similar colour tone. So that's on to there. And then this one. Then goes on to our card. I'm just going to grab that piece of back. I can press it all down. Okay, so there we have our card with a lovely inky background. So I used fossilized amber, I used dried marigold, carved pumpkin, gathered twigs and ground espresso to create my background. Then we've used this die set from Sue Wilson called Necessities, the Moonlit Owl, to create this card. If you like this card or it's sort of what you want to do but not quite, or you want to use the trunk and the crescent moon, then have a look on the channel because I have a video where I use a sort of a blue palette and I use the trunk and the crescent moon, sort of a similar kind of idea but a different bits of the die set and a different colour palette. Thank you for joining me.